The Mummy, not just an action film, it was chaos incarnate. Buried beneath the desert's golden dunes, this movie nearly collapsed under its own curse. Behind the explosions and scarabs, there were near deaths, freak weather, studio disasters, and production that sometimes felt like the real Imhotep was fighting back. Believe it or not, Leonardo DiCaprio almost became Rick O'Connell. The Sahara nearly killed the crew, and one talking pig accidentally saved the entire movie. So grab your whip, dodge a few scarabs, and let's dig up 20 insane facts about The Mummy, the movie that refused to stay dead. Fact number 1. The curse that refused to die. Before Brendan Fraser ever picked up a gun, The Mummy itself was cursed, a Hollywood curse. For almost 10 years, Universal tried and failed to resurrect it. Horror icon Clive Barker pitched a surreal, nightmare version about a haunted museum filled with cursed relics. Too weird, too dark. Buried. Then Joe Dante dreamed up a tragic love story with Daniel Day-Lewis as a Shakespearean-style mummy. Too expensive. Buried. George Romero wanted to make a modern horror satire, where an archaeologist uses an MRI to bring Imhotep back. Too weird. Buried again. Even Wes Craven circled the project, but nothing stuck. For a decade, The Mummy stayed in its tomb. Then along came Stephen Sommers, and instead of horror, he pitched fun. Swashbuckling, banter, romance, chaos. A 1930s pulp adventure. Universal finally said yes. The curse broke. Dozens of failed scripts turned to dust, but one brought the dead back to life. Fact number 2. The movie that a pig accidentally saved. You won't believe this. The Mummy almost became a cheap $15 million B-movie. It was supposed to be quick, forgettable, until a children's sequel bombed. That sequel? Babe, Pig in the City. The flop was so bad it caused a shakeup at Universal. The new execs needed a win, something big, bold, and epic to prove they could deliver. Suddenly, The Mummy exploded from a small desert project into an $80 million blockbuster overnight. All because one little talking pig failed at the box office. So yeah, we can thank Babe for bringing The Mummy back to life. Fact number 3. When Leonardo DiCaprio almost became Rick O'Connell. In 1997, Leonardo DiCaprio was the biggest name on the planet after Titanic. Every studio wanted him, and when Universal sent him the Mummy script, he wanted in. Leo was ready to swap the ocean for the desert, from tragic Jack Dawson to gunslinging pulp hero Rick O'Connell. But timing killed it. He was already locked into filming the beach. Contract signed. No escape. Then fate twisted the knife. The beach got delayed. If he'd waited just a few weeks, he could have done both. But by then, Brendan Fraser had already been cast. A goofy, charming, adventurous everyman who turned the role into legend. The part Leo missed by a scheduling fluke became the role that defined Fraser's career. Jack drowned. Rick O'Connell became immortal. Fact number 4. Rachel Weisz almost lost a role. Before Rachel Weisz became the brilliant, brave Evelyn Carnahan, Universal had other names in mind. Jennifer Lopez, hot off Selena, was considered. Ashley Judd, fresh from Kiss the Girls, too. But neither fit the tone. They needed someone brainy but charming, the kind of heroine who could trip over her own books and still stare down an undead priest with fire in her eyes. Then Rachel walked in, practically unknown, but her audition sparked. She had intelligence, vulnerability, and wit, everything Stephen Sommers wanted. The moment she read, the part was hers. That single role launched her career overnight. Jade Lowe and Judd vanished like sand in the wind. And in their place, a new star rose in the desert.
The exact location.
You want to know?
Well, yes.
Do you really want to know? Then get me the hell out of here!
Fact number 5. Filming in the Sahara nearly killed them. What's a better setting than the real Sahara Desert, right? Well, try surviving it. Stephen Sommers wanted authenticity. So they went to Morocco. Temperatures hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Cameras overheated. Crew members collapsed from dehydration. Film stock literally melted. It was so dangerous that Universal issued kidnapping insurance for the entire cast and crew. The desert itself became the villain. Venomous snakes, scorpions crawling into boots, and sandstorms that buried entire sets overnight. Whole days of work were lost, swallowed by the dunes. Summers later joked it felt like the real Mummy was trying to stop them. But truth be told, the desert didn't want them there. And it almost won. Fact number 6. The stunt that nearly killed Brendan Fraser. This one straight out of a horror movie. During the hanging scene, Fraser actually almost died on set. The stunt was carefully planned. The trapdoor drops, the rope tightens, but not too much. Only something slipped. The rope cinched tighter than it should have. Fraser's face turned red, his body went limp, and for 20 horrifying seconds, he stopped breathing. The crew thought he was acting, until they realized he wasn't. They cut him down and revived him on set. Later, Fraser joked, "They killed me for 18 seconds." On screen, Rick O'Connell cheated death with swagger. Off screen, Brendan Fraser did it for real.
£500.
Walk off on that. And what else? I'm a very lonely man.
Fact number 7. Becoming the Mummy was actual torture. Before CGI magic, Arnold Vosloo became Imhotep. The hard way. Makeup artists buried him under hours of latex, paint, and prosthetics until he could barely move, his entire body sealed tight. By the end of each day, his skin was raw, his eyes bloodshot, and his face covered in red marks from the pressure. Vosloo once said he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize himself. He was playing a man cursed to be buried alive, and the makeup made him feel like he actually was. For a while, Arnold Vosloo didn't just play the mummy, he was the mummy. Fact number 8. The studio wanted horror, not adventure. Universal didn't hire Stephen Sommers to make a fun blockbuster. They wanted a horror film, dark, bloody, scary. But Sommers pushed back. He said, "No, I want adventure." He pitched it as part Indiana Jones, part Errol Flynn, with laughs, romance, and big-hearted chaos. The studio wasn't convinced. They wanted terror. He wanted fun. They argued. He refused to back down. And in the end, Sommers won. The Mummy became a mix of thrills, laughs, and pure movie magic, a reminder that adventure didn't need to be grim to be great. Universal asked for fear. He gave them fun. And that's why the Mummy still lives. Fact number 9. The desert struck back. The Sahara didn't just attack with heat. It poisoned them. Almost the entire cast and crew got food poisoning at one point. Production shut down for days. People were running, not from mummies, but for the nearest bathroom or medical tent. Everyone suffered, except Arnold Vosloo. Why? He refused to eat anything local. He only ate food shipped from home. While everyone else was sick in the sand, Vosloo walked around completely fine, like an actual resurrected priest. Imhotep may have been cursed on screen, but off screen, he was the only one immune. Fact number 10. The library scene was real chaos. One of the funniest moments in the movie, Evelyn knocking over the library shelves, was actually real and dangerous. Those weren't fake props. They were full-size wooden shelves loaded with 2,000 real books. They were rigged like dominoes, one mistake, and Rachel Wise could have been crushed. She insisted on doing the stunt herself. No double. She pushed the shelf, paused for a heartbeat, then crash. Everything toppled perfectly like magic. One shot, one chance, one miracle that a comedy moment that could have gone very, very wrong. Fact number 11. Imhotep spoke real ancient Egyptian. When Arnold Vosloo chanted or cursed, it wasn't gibberish. It was authentic ancient Egyptian. Stephen Sommers hired Egyptologists to translate lines into real phrases that hadn't been spoken aloud in thousands of years. Every curse, every plea to the gods, every growl, pulled straight from history. Vosloo memorized each sound phonetically under hot lights, drenched in makeup and sweat. The result? It sounded alien and terrifying audiences, but the scholars, those were real words of the dead. Imhotep wasn't pretending to summon the afterlife. He was speaking in its language. Fact number 12. CGI that changed movie history. In 1999, no one had ever seen a villain like this. Industrial light and magic built Imhotep from the bones out, literally. A full digital skeleton, then layers of muscle, then rotting flesh. transforming frame by frame. It was revolutionary. Audiences saw horror and fantasy. But behind the scenes, ILM was rewriting the rulebook of digital effects. That technology paved the way for everything from Gollum to Davy Jones. Imhotep didn't just rise from the sand. He dragged the future of CGI with him. Fact number 13, real explosions, real beetles, real danger. For all the high-tech CGI, most of the Mummy was old-school movie magic. The explosions, real pyrotechnics. The collapsing sets, built for real and destroyed for real. The scarabs, many were real beetle shells glued to stunt performers. Actors could actually feel them crawling across their skin at NO green screens. No shortcuts, just dust, danger, and chaos. That's why the movie feels real even today. Because it was... Fact number 14, the heartbeat of the movie. The secret weapon behind The Mummy wasn't Brendan Fraser or the CGI. It was composer Jerry Goldsmith. Goldsmith wrote a score that defined adventure. Thundering trumpets for the action, sweeping strings for the romance, eerie Middle Eastern tones for the mystery. It was big, emotional, and timeless. The perfect heartbeat for a film that mixed love, danger, and destiny. 5 years later, Goldsmith passed away. But his Mummy score still roars across speakers, reminding everyone why he was one of cinema's greatest. Fact number 15, the original opening was very different. Originally, The Mummy was supposed to start with narration from Imhotep himself. He would have spoken in English, telling a story directly to the audience. But when they tested it, something felt wrong. Imhotep wasn't scary anymore. He sounded human. So they scrapped it. Instead, they opened with a sweeping, wordless prologue, betrayal, love, and a curse carved into eternity, no dialogue. Just mood, music, and sand. That choice made all the difference. Fact number 16. Critics expected it to fail. Before release, no one at Universal believed in The Mummy. Test screenings were mixed. Critics called it too silly, too campy, too light. Executives braced for disaster. But audiences, they loved it. They laughed, gasped, and cheered, exactly how Summers had imagined. What critics thought would kill the movie ended up saving it. The tone, the humor, the heart, those became its legacy. Fact number 17, the box office resurrection. With an $80 million budget, Universal expected a modest return. Instead, The Mummy exploded, earning over $415 million worldwide. It became one of the biggest surprises of 1999 that Fraser became an instant star, Wise became Hollywood's new favorite heroine, and Vazo's Imhotep terrified audiences everywhere. What started as a risky remake turned into a full-blown rebirth.
Why did you kiss me?
No, I was about to be hanged. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh.
What? What'd I say?
Fact number 18, the curse lives on in theme parks. After the success, Universal built the Revenge of the Mummy ride, a high-speed, fire-blasting, scream-filled roller coaster that opened in 2004, 2 decades later. It's still running. The movie that almost never got made still throws fans into dark, surrounded by fire and ancient curses. Some curses never fade. Fact number 19, the Saturday Morning Curse. From 2001 to 2003, The Mummy got its own animated series. Rick, Evelyn, and even little Alex O'Connell battled Imhotep again. This time in cartoon form. IT wasn't as huge as the films, but for a generation of kids, that's how they first met the heroes of Hamunaptra, over cereal and Saturday mornings. Because every great adventure eventually finds its way to Saturday morning TV. Fact number 20, The Mummy never died. Time didn't bury the Mummy. It made it immortal. 2 sequels followed. The Mummy Returns, 2001, and Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, 2008. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson launched his career with The Scorpion King. Theme park rides, cartoons, and memes kept the adventure alive. And through it all, Brendan Fraser's grin and Rachel Weisz's spark became legend. Even today, one line still echoes.
I am a librarian.
Because for an entire generation, The Mummy wasn't just a movie. That IT was proof that adventure never dies.
To stop this creature? Let me think.
Yes!
Question. Why doesn't he like cats?
Bonus fact, The Painted Queen. Patricia Velasquez, who played Anxu Naaman, wasn't wearing a costume at all. Her golden armor? Body paint. Artists painted her by hand every morning. Hours of intricate designs that couldn't smudge or sweat. Under the lights, the paint shimmered like metal, turning one of cinema's most unforgettable visuals into pure illusion. No CGI, no tricks, just art and patience. The Mummy was supposed to be a curse, just another failed remake doomed to fade away. Instead, it rose in the sand and refused to die. Through desert heat, near-death stunts, food poisoning, and critics' doubt, it became one of the most beloved adventure films of its era. If Brendan Fraser's grin, Rachel Weisz's wit, or Imhotep's curse still live in your memory, drop a comment below and tell us which movie we should dig up next. Because some stories aren't meant to fade, they're meant to live forever.